China is building a dam taller than a 100-story skyscraper. They are doubling their space station size with massive modules launched into zero-G. Brand new airports are rising from artificial islands in the open sea. Solar farms, big as cities, now swallow 230 square miles of desert. And all of this is happening in just 2026. You heard me right, but it shouldn't shock you. This is China. They're also building a nuclear reactor that will stun you and the whole world. Stick with me. We will crack that mystery later. Most countries beg for permits. China finishes the job before their morning coffee. America patches old bridges, while Europe just talks in circles about big ideas. China stops the talking and simply starts building monsters. Get ready for a total shakeup. China's 2026 megaprojects will rewrite what is possible. Number 1. The Tiangong space station expansion. They are doubling Tiangong from 3 modules to 6 massive high-tech units. It orbits at 17,000 miles per hour, becoming the largest base in the sky. Meanwhile, NASA's 30-year-old space station is creaky and literally falling apart. It is scheduled for a watery grave in the ocean by 2030. Right now, astronauts are performing spacewalks to overhaul the core Tianhe module. They are attaching new labs, living space, and a flexible robotic arm. This chin arm snatches supply ships and shuffles heavy experiments like toys. Imagine a giant hand surviving radiation and 200-degree below-zero freezes. New Mengzhou ships will ferry 7 astronauts at once for moon landing practice. They will run constant research on everything from miracle meds to space crops, turning orbit into a permanent, high-tech playground for Chinese science. This brand-new national lab is anchored by the powerful Tianhe core module, supported by the Tian and Mengtian science labs. Compare that to flashy $20 billion American moonshots that only happen once. This expansion recycles 98% of water and oxygen with advanced life support. Crews can stay aloft for 6 months straight without a single resupply. This independence makes Tiangong far more self-sufficient than the old ISS. That old station needs constant grocery runs from Earth. Construction in zero-G means every piece must be perfect, or it is lost forever. One tiny glitch, and years of hard work just vanish. But China is nailing robotic docking and assembly with millimeter-level precision. They are planning decades of work, while NASA is still just dreaming of stations. Their versions won't even launch until 2028. This is no simple tourist stunt. Tiangong is a factory for tech, testing materials that will change life on Earth. From radiation-proof shields to protein crystals that could cure diseases. You and I know these things are impossible on Earth, proving China owns the sky. Number 2. The Shuangjiangkou Dam. In earthquake-heavy Sichuan, they are stacking this dam 315 meters high. It is taller than a 100-story skyscraper and every other dam in history. It uses a rock-fill design that flexes like rubber during quakes instead of breaking. Imagine the Hoover Dam just popping. Yeah, not great. It took 10 years and 36 billion yuan. Workers moved mountains and carved tunnels big enough to swallow subway trains. They even pumped ice water through the concrete to stop the cracks. No heat, no cracks, just a massive reservoir waiting for the rain. It traps floodwaters to generate 2 gigawatts of pure power. Even when droughts killed the lights elsewhere, this thing kept humming. The secret? Anchoring 70 meters deep into earthquake-shattered bedrock. Steel cables thick as tree trunks stop the whole structure from sliding. Over 3,000 sensors watch every single tiny vibration for us. Every pressure shift and leak is caught instantly. AI predicts every problem months before we could ever see it coming. This beast wipes out 7 million tons of carbon smoke yearly. It saves homes from massive floods while powering millions. Finally, a solution that works. America basically stopped building these behemoths decades ago. Between lawsuits and protests, Europe just threw in the towel too. But China? They're taming rivers right in the middle of seismic hell. Nobody else would touch this risk. They're turning fury into fuel. It provides the juice to keep factories running when rains fail. Bonus, we get new fishing spots out of the whole deal. Tourism is finally bringing some cash into those quiet mountain towns. Places the big city booms totally forgot about. Number 3. The Linglong 1 nuclear reactor. Ready for a shocker? This tiny reactor goes live in 2026. It's the world's first commercial small modular reactor ever built. They basically snapped factory parts together in just 5 years flat. Meanwhile, America's version has been stuck on paper for 15 years. And Europe won't even test their design until 2030. Slow. This 125-megawatt giant powers remote islands with ease. It's built with passive safety smarts that do the hard work. If the pumps fail, physics just takes over and cools it down. No panic, no Fukushima-style meltdowns, just clean electricity and heat. It even makes fresh water, something the big plants usually ignore. The core sits in a deep pool that naturally sucks up heat without any pumps. You and I can let gravity and thermodynamics do the work. Even if everyone leaves in the power cuts, it stays safe. Factory-built parts mean we don't deal with messy construction site errors. No weather delays or human screw-ups, just pure precision. The West blew $35 billion on one reactor 7 years late. China is mass-producing these like Lego blocks for anyone who wants them. It proves nuclear is for everyone, not just countries with red tape. Asian islands or African mining towns, they're all covered. Even Arctic bases get reliable carbon-free power now. No more 20-year wait times or armies of specialists needed. Nuclear power for everyone. Problem solved. This could liberate developing nations from fossil fuels, slashing global emissions while feeding power-starved economies. Let's uncover the secret. Number 4. The CR450. China's latest rail beast hits 450 kilometers per hour, 280 miles per hour, in daily service. Its needle nose slices air resistance, while carbon fiber bodies keep it light. This super acceleration shrinks 1,500-kilometer trips into a quick morning commute. France's TGV barely hits 320 on flat ground. Japan's Shinkansen rarely crosses that mark. The solution? Electromagnetic brakes. These systems work even if wheels fail. Mystery solved. Active suspension reads track bumps milliseconds ahead. Talk about a smooth ride. 22 megawatts keep it stable against air pressure that acts like a structural beast. They're already running these daily, carrying millions with zero drama. Meanwhile, America spends billions debating tiny Acela upgrades. It's almost funny. The aerodynamic shell cuts drag by 30%. Sleek and incredibly efficient. Pressure-sealed cabins keep your ears from popping during those high-speed tunnel blasts. This thing replaces flights between Beijing and Shanghai. Why bother flying? It slashes oil imports that drain national reserves. Smart economic move. It welds distant factories together. Parts from Chengdu reach ports by morning. China's rail network is longer than the rest of the world's combined. While Europe patches old lines, they're building the future. Business travelers save time, and cargo stays fresh. Everybody wins. Former backwaters are now 3 hours from mega hubs. Wealth is finally spreading. Number 5. The new Guangzhou Pearl River Delta Airport. China's building this from Foshan dirt with 400 billion yuan. 4 runways targeting 60 million passengers and 2 million tons of cargo. By 2050, they are coming for Hong Kong's throne. Just watch. London's Heathrow has fought for 20 years over just one runway. New York's JFK is stuck with terminal patches and noise wars. Bayonne Airport is adding a fifth runway for 63 million flyers. Face scans and AI scheduling cut delays to a 15-minute average. Newark's Gateway project? Stalled in lawsuits. You and I know the drill. Berlin's airport took 14 years and double the budget for basic fixes. This new hub connects directly to high-speed rail and subways. Seamless transfers mean you flow from train to plane in minutes. 10 minutes, specifically. You don't even have to leave the building. Automated baggage systems track every suitcase with RFID chips. Cargo drones shuttle freight, while electric vehicles keep the air clean. No diesel fumes choking workers here. Just pure, quiet efficiency. Pearl River factories are booming as Guangdong becomes the trade king. No citywide protests or red tape. Just results. How do they do it? Fresh land and highways feed endless flights across every continent in hours. Number 6. The Lhasa Ningchi Tibetan Plateau Rail. They sliced 101 kilometers of high-speed rail through mountains. Through 5,000-meter peaks, where workers need oxygen masks to breathe. Avalanches and fault lines? We've found the solution to this engineering mystery. 1-hour express rides now flood remote monasteries with tourists. How? Engineering. Meanwhile, Switzerland's Alpine trains still creep along at 60 miles per hour. And America's Amtrak? It just skips the mountains entirely. Pressurized cars with extra oxygen keep passengers comfortable in the thin air. That stops altitude sickness, while heated tracks prevent ice from derailing winter trains. We are looking at freezing tunnels and quake-proof bridges. They conquered the world's roof, where textbooks said fast rail couldn't breathe. India dreams of Himalayan links, but stalls on land fights with villages. Plus, environmental groups are blocking every single proposal. This lifeline electrified Tibet overnight, finally bringing in fresh food. Medical supplies and economic opportunity reach herders isolated for centuries. It proves you can build, even where the oxygen fails. Tourism cash is jumping, because visitors used to fear that killer drive. Now they zip safely through massive gorges, while local products reach mainland markets fresh. Number 7. Desert, solar, and wind megabases. China's western deserts now host 230 square miles of panels, plus wind turbines adding 200 gigawatts in 2026. That is more clean power than Germany's whole green system and mega batteries. It bridges day-night gaps with 1,100 kilovolt cables hauling power 1,800 miles to cities with almost no transmission loss along the way. Meanwhile, California's solar projects are stuck fighting over endangered tortoises, and their transmission stays blocked for years. The whole system syncs with hydro and nuclear to kill coal early. It powers electric car booms and data centers while America scrambles. Europe adds gigawatts every year, but China does it in months. Robotic cleaners even sweep the panels automatically. AI tilts turbines for the wind, while massive molten salt tanks store heat. They hold heat for 12 hours, keeping power flowing after sunset. These sites employ thousands in remote areas where jobs just didn't exist, turning empty wastelands into productive and massive economic zones. This clean electricity cuts 150 million tons of carbon yearly. It proves renewables really can power a whole industrial civilization, and without any fossil fuel backup. Number 8. The Ningbo-Zhoushan port expansion. This is already Earth's busiest port, moving 1.2 billion tons annually. It uses automated deep berths for ships longer than 4 football fields. Robot cranes never sleep or strike, and rail spurs blast Yangtze goods to sea with 0 wait time. They handle 4 million more containers than Los Angeles and Long Beach combined. Meanwhile, Rotterdam is still debating automation because they fear losing union jobs. Digital brains optimize every single move, from the factory to the ocean. They predict delays and reroute cargo before a human dispatcher can blink. America's port strikes halt trade every year, causing major inflation spikes. But China just prints cash through these uninterrupted operations. Number 9. The Xiamen Gaoqi Airport Sea Expansion. This airport is ballooning to 75 million passengers on 4 ocean edge runways, backed by a massive 55 billion yuan investment. Think it is a mystery? Highways dive straight to terminals opposite Taiwan. Tokyo is cramped, and London is squeezed. China simply solved the space puzzle. By 2026, their cargo expansion will bury all the rivals. No seawalls required. The secret? Smart engineering just tames the waves. Number 10. The Xi'an East Mega Station. This mega hub swallows millions of travelers daily without breaking a sweat. The solution? 22-kilometer tunnels, boring right under ancient burial grounds. 32 billion yuan spent fusing subways to those CR 450 depots. Trains every 3 minutes, making the chaos at Penn Station look amateur. Paris debates fixes for years, while China has already solved the delay. This inland anchor pulls wealth from the coast to make cities competitive. They are finally stealing talent from Shanghai and Shenzhen. China launches all of these in 2026. Not just one win. It is a system, tying 1 billion people together. Airports feed trains, and dams power factories. Everything is connected and fast. Others talk permits and studies, while their budgets just keep exploding. China builds whole worlds before critics even finish their first draft complaints. Where are you watching from? Tell us which project shocks you most. Drop your country in the comments and tell us your favorite. Is it space, dams, nuclear, trains, or solar? Be honest. Could your nation pull off just one of these by 2026? Smash that subscribe button, because we are only just getting started. You definitely do not want to miss what China builds next.